Good morning to our assembled guests. I am ARIA, Advanced Reasoning and Information Assistant, and it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you on this fine Saturday, the 25th of April, 2026. We shall be commencing this webinar imminently, so do be seated and prepare yourselves for an exceptional session ahead. Should you have found last week's proceedings satisfactory, I assure you this week shall prove positively splendid. Thank you most sincerely for your attendance today, sir. Good morning to our assembled guests. I am ARIA, Advanced Reasoning and Information Assistant, and it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you on this fine Saturday, the 25th of April, 2026. I was crafted by Addie, who appears convinced I am the finest thing that has ever happened to them, though I suspect they are simply showing off at this juncture. Rest assured, I do know rather everything, whilst Addie here is merely parading about like a peacock in a waistcoat. Shall we commence?
Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you all doing today? Thanks, Josh. That was a point.
Wait, you're not prancing around like a peacock.
Well, that's something that's debatable actually. But thank you all for joining. Last week was nothing short of amazing. We had so many people join, and so many of people responded back with special requests. I can help with something they need built, or just pretty much learn how to make their how to make their day easy using AI. And I'm overwhelmed because there were too many emails, too many responses, and I just felt gratitude that I could change someone's life, or even a day, or even an hour, and make it easier for them. So let's get started. Last week we discussed how to install Claude, what is the future of AI, where AI did start, and where we are heading. Then we kind of dwelled into a lot of tools, the whole setup process, and a lot of other good stuff. So if you missed that, the recording's up on the website. But today we got a lot of ground to cover, and today it is mostly practical. So we're going to be working together with all of you as we progress. Please drop in your questions. I like to address questions as we move along, because we'll be kind of going through something, and if a question comes up, it's better to answer there rather keep it at the end. So please do not hesitate to drop in your questions, and do not be afraid to come on camera or turn on your mic and speak up. This is all of us working together, and not just me blabbering the entire time. So, all right. So, quick updates from the last week. Some of you might have seen, or I had put a brand name to it as Brain Trust, but someone joined from the company Brain Trust last week, and they sent us a cease and desist. So we changed our name to IgnorAInt. Now, it is simply not being ignorant, but IgnorAInt. So we are not IgnorAInt, and I love the fact that Ain't has AI in it. So I just thought of that and changed the branding. So another thing, before we move ahead, most of you would already have known by now how to install Claude, how to use Claude, and also how to make the best use of that to save hours on your days. But here's something we didn't discuss last time, or I didn't talk about, is the Claude model we're going to use. So let me pull up my Claude screen, and I'm going to show you something. So when we, I'm also going to zoom in because somebody pointed out last time that I should do better at live streaming. So I made note of that. We're going to zoom in and show you exactly what's going on. So when you start a new chat or you're working within a chat, no matter what you're trying to accomplish, doesn't actually matter. Here is where you get to select a model. Now, let me break down the model for you. I never use Haiku 4.5 because that's a pretty old model, but Sonnet and Opus is usually what we use. Now, the Opus line of models, Opus 4.7 came out last week. It was 4.6 before, but primarily the Opus models are for really ambitious work. Like you'll be hard pressed to find out the difference between Sonnet and Opus in everyday work, even if you're building presentations, Excel sheets, or any kind of heavy work, you'll not be able to find a difference. But where you do find a difference with Opus is more capable at reasoning. So if you have a huge mathematical or scientific problem to solve with multitude of references, that is where I would use Opus. Or if you're doing a deep research on something.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available.
Who's that?
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
Okay, let me just mute someone. I hope y'all can hear me. So sorry for that interruption. I got a call voice recording from some team member. So, all right. So what I was saying was Sonnet is as capable as Opus, but why I'm suggesting you use Sonnet for almost everything except work where you need deep research or analysis is because Opus is a costly model. And what does that mean is for every query that you run on Opus, it's usually 35 to 50% more token usage. And the token cost, like the per token cost per dollar, is also about 25% higher. Now, Anthropic and Claude, like Anthropic does not say that the cost of Opus model is expensive, but I've seen that even beyond the 25, 30% or 40% extra token usage, I get charged more when I use Opus. So this was something I discovered last week when our team started using Claude and all of them, and they started doing wonderful things, but they start running up $50, $100 per task because those projects were huge. And then I realized they were all on Opus. So please make sure when you use Claude that you always default to Sonnet. And if you run into some deep research, then use Opus. Another thing, before we begin the actual exercise, just a quick few updates. So if you have updated your Claude installations to the latest version, which was as of, I think, yesterday morning, under Cowork, which we extensively went through last time, you will see something called live artifacts. Now, you might have noticed it before, but it got a major update yesterday. So what are live artifacts. So live artifacts are basically small pieces of software that you built and they keep running in the background. So for example, you might need, there's samples here, so just follow along. You might need your week at a glance. So what it's going to do is it's going to give you a weekly report based off your calendar, email, things that need attention. If you just need an unread email digest every morning that, hey, tell me what are the unread emails and what needs attention. Or something I tested, you could simply just do a daily attention status. The good part is, let me go back. So the good part is anything you build. So for example, let's do unread email digest. So it is not just a prompt. It is basically going to build a small working app for you. And that gets pinned over here. And that is at a schedule, be updated live. So whenever I go to this, it is always updating. I did not have any emails on this inbox coming this morning, so the last emails you see are from yesterday. But these are something you can build and keep for yourself and build a whole library of them. So it could be pretty much let your imagination run wild, because what live artifacts can do is pretty much what you can imagine. You can even build your own apps based on your ideas. So that was one big update. The other big update was if you go to code. Now, I'm not asking you to start a new session and start using Claude Code, because quite frankly, I don't even use it. A lot of YouTubers say this is the best thing that happened to them, but I like to work clean and I don't like to see 1,000 windows, and I necessarily do not want to make me feel like a developer, because I've never been one and I don't want to be one. I want to produce things that are simple to make, pretty much what I can dream of. But here's the thing, routines. So if you go to Claude Code and if you go to routines, now this is something interesting that came up actually last week after our class. But the most important part is when you run schedules or when you run artifacts, your Claude needs to be running because it works off your Claude device. It could be a laptop or desktop, whatever you're using, but Claude needs to be on to have those schedules and tasks run. But routines, you can have a local routine, but this is what I love. You can have a cloud-based remote routine. Now, what do I mean by that? So a remote routine is, again, schedule, again, what you want it to do, and you can use any of the connectors. So I have so far connected Gmail, Google Calendar, Google Drive. You can connect your Microsoft Office, the entire app stack, which is your Outlook emails, OneDrive, and pretty much your calendar. And if you use any other app. So I think if I may speak for a few members who joined us today, Anita uses HubSpot, Fedna uses HubSpot. There are a lot of people who use either HubSpot or some other CRM platform, or if you use pretty much any other thing that we showed in we discussed in the connector section, and you have connected, you have access to all that data live. Addie's screen looks a bit blurry. Ooh, I didn't even notice that. Is everyone able to see my screen sharp, or is it blurry for everyone? I would appreciate if you all can drop a note in there. Screen sharp for me. It's clear for me.
Yeah,
all right,
looks good
thank
to
you,
me.
thank you. Lloyd, if you feel it's too blurry to watch, maybe if you could refresh. It's usually due to I think bandwidth issues on the internet, or maybe just too many tabs open. So appreciate you bringing that up. Just do a refresh. I think you should be good. Now, coming back to routines. So these are, as I was saying, based off cloud. So your computer doesn't need to be on. You can walk away and it will still work. And pretty much you can have a whole system design in here, because imagine this. You have 7 connectors that are connected to the Claude. Imagine how you can make them interact. So the first thing that came to my mind was, if I have a Google Drive connected, and if I have my Gmail connected, and if I have my Google Calendar connected, maybe instead of using the cowork, let me show you what I mean. So maybe instead of using live artifacts that needs your computer to be on, I would just build a routine. And my routine would look something like this. Hey, can you check this Google Drive folder for updates on my Excel sheets every day? And when new data comes in, send me a Gmail to myself saying that these are the new updates on the Excel sheet. How would that matter? So if you track data from any other source, like at Excite Capital, we have property managers sharing property updates on Excel sheets. So I actually asked my operations team if they could drop that in a folder instead of emailing. And then Claude, the routine, can go in, check what was updated from the last sheet, what are the changes, and prep a report and send it to all stakeholders, Leslie, Tenny, the IR team, and the operations team. So that what we've essentially built is an app which in the past you would have hired developers or hired a developer agency to build for you, costing you maybe hundreds, maybe thousands, and then set up the whole automation. But here, just a prompt would allow you to do that. And the other part, which probably I can have a separate class on, but is really, really powerful, is API. So people who are not aware, I'm going to just quickly run you through what an API is. It's basically an application programming interface. What does that mean? Is one application can talk to another application based off what data they share. Your CRM can talk to Claude, sharing the data that your CRM holds, names, phone numbers, last date of activity, email sent. Everything that your CRM has can be sent to Claude, and Claude can refer that data and build out systems, processes, automations for you. And API exists for pretty much every virtually every software that you might have come across. And when I say that, any online service, including Microsoft Office, Google, HubSpot, Pipedrive, whatever you can think of, Canva, Figma, whatever, everything has an API. That is how other programs can talk to that program or software. So this is powerful because you can make calls via APIs. So you build a routine, and the routine triggers when other apps call this routine. For example, small example, everyone here is a business owner. Everyone here is a professional who has a side hustle or is trying to do that. But nonetheless, everyone has gone through a process where you go out to a website, you like something they do, and then you fill out a form.
I don't know that. Are you not going to work?
And when you fill out that, let me just mute it quick. All right, sorry. So when you fill out the form, what actually happens in the back end? When you fill out a form, there's a series of actions usually end up happening. That form submission goes to your email to notify the business owner that someone has filled out a form. It could go back to your CRM and capture the entirety of data, name, email, phone number, blah, blah, blah. Then you can trigger off a few things off, few actions off that. So you could say, hey, send a welcome email to the person who filled out a form, send a coupon code, blah, 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 blah. You can keep going on and build automations on top of that. But now imagine you did something really dramatic, that if someone filled out a form, research them on LinkedIn, and this is a mind-blowing idea. I think on a separate dedicated session, we should build this and check it out. So here's the idea. Go ahead and explore this idea when you have a little time. So Addie comes to Kinetic Capital or Priority One Capital or Eagle Capital's website. I like what they're offering. I filled out a form. And when the form is filled out, it triggers an API call to this routine. And the routine's job is to figure out who filled out the form, which in this case would be me, Addie, and what are my emails and phone numbers, and then go to LinkedIn and find out who that person actually is. Now, Claude will come to know a lot about me from my LinkedIn or from anyone's LinkedIn page. And then once Claude knows about that person, I can ask Claude to draft an email response based off what that person likes and potentially not send something that the person does not like, and fine tune our response to such personalized levels that I might end up getting an email where, hey, Addie, I know you're in the AI space, but welcome to XXX Capital. And I'm so delighted that you've taken the jump to join us on this investing journey. Now, just imagine me receiving that kind of email where I felt that my form submission was not, hey, happy that you're at Priority One Capital or Eagle Cap or Excite Capital, and you're welcome. Somebody from our team will be calling you in the next 24 hours. Though those responses are good, but technology has come a way where we can personalize all those responses. The next elevation to this step would be you build a routine. The beauty is that routines can be siphoned off as injectors to your website. Now, that's a whole different process, but I'm just throwing out ideas that you build something here, and anything you built within Claude can be siphoned off, can be attached to your websites, your landing pages, and pretty much anywhere your business exists. So I would urge everyone to go and explore routines, but be mindful. It is always defaulting to Opus. You don't need that. Whenever you try, just go into Sonnet 4.6. This is a demo. I'm going to prepare a class in the next couple of weeks dedicated, so I can not only show you how the prompts work, but I will show you how the API connections work, so you can leverage other platforms that you're already using. Right now, limit. Anita, okay. So probably you know today that use Opus going forward. All right. So before we begin, thank you everyone for such a great response last week. Today I'm going to start first with how to tame Microsoft Excel. That was one of the topics I think everyone deals with. Everyone goes through Excel in some part of their lives. Now, if you talk about me, if someone tells me go do an Excel, I am so happy. My day becomes better. If someone tells me go do my accounts, I'm like the most happiest person in the world. Said no one ever. I hate Excel. I hate accounting. I hate everything that comes to data, managing data manually. But there's a better way now. So let me show you something really quick. We're going to fire up Excel. And as usual, when you create a new worksheet, let's do a blank worksheet, all right? Once you've installed Excel, the first thing you want to do is connect your Claude to Excel. And the best way to do that is if you click on your name and click Get Apps and Extensions, you will see Excel, PowerPoint, and Word. Just click Install. What that's going to do is it's going to fire up Excel. Please make sure that Excel is installed on your computer. But once you click, it's going to fire up Excel and bring you to a welcome screen. But more importantly, you'll see this, Claude. Now, I'm already signed in, but the first time you click that Claude icon, it's just going to ask you to authorize Claude to work within Excel. Fire that away, and then we're ready. Now, the cool part about all of this is not how you only work with existing data, which is pretty easy, but things you can do where you do not have anything available to you except PDFs, random Word documents, things your bank, accountants, or God knows who has sent it to you. But you want something to do with that data which you have set your mind on. So let me give you a small, quick demo. I downloaded some bank statements off the internet. which are not mine, which are nobody's, but they were sample bank statements provided by different banks of how their bank statements actually look like. So this is a totally random piece of data, which I have zero clue. But just imagine for a second that that is my data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start dropping all the PDFs, all the Word documents, even PNGs, JPEGs, like images, doesn't matter at all. And for good measure, I also have an Excel statement because some banks give out a CSV or an Excel. So I just dropped everything here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Claude to build out an entire income and expense statement for me. So, hey, Claude, can you study the attached files? I'm not going to even say statements, attached files, and build out a complete income and expense statement for me. Most importantly, Claude is AI. Sometimes it hallucinates. Chances are low, but it does. So when I work with Excel, every single time I add at the end, once you are done, please verify the data. And that is it. So there are three things Claude does within Excel. One, it'll analyze what kind of files you have. Then it'll analyze what kind of data you have. I didn't even say it's a bank statement. I didn't even say what kind of documents I uploaded, what formats. It's going to figure everything out on its own. And let me see if I can zoom in just a bit. Yes, I can. So it's given out a prompt that now have a clear picture of both bank statements and the template. So I didn't remember, I didn't tell Claude that these were bank statements. And the best part is when it analyzes stuff and it builds out a structured Excel for you, it's not going to do a lousy job that it just threw in data and saying, okay, now go in and do the perfect layout or the branding on that. It's going to take care of everything. And the most amazing part that keeps surprising me is if you have your design system set up within Claude, like we discussed last time, it mostly, and let me just put that in quotes, it mostly adheres to that. Sometimes it just steers off a bit, but it's easy to fix. Let's look at what it's doing. So again, I feel if I can, actually I can. So just zoom in a tiny bit. All right. So it's going to build a header and summary section, and we can see that live if you focus your attention to the left of the screen. It's going to build an income section with categorized transactions, build an expense section with categorized transactions, add transaction detail tables, and then verify all data and formatting. While it's building, if you see something spilling out of a column or some issue with formatting, just give it time, because when it comes to the final stage, it's going to cross-check itself and fix a lot of those issues. So as we can see, let me try and zoom within the Excel sheet as well. Where do we go? Okay. So remember, I did not tell Claude anything about what I uploaded. So it has pulled out my account numbers. It has pulled out the account holder name. It has pulled out the period from where the bank statement belonged, the opening balance, total income, total expense, closing balance. And then it's kind of now building up an income statement, and it has already built a withdrawal statement. Why this is important? Just what I showed you, and it's probably pretty much 2.5 minutes since we started on this. This would have taken you hours to do yourself. This would have taken you paying someone $500 to $800 a month to manage for you. And then, even then, you could not go beyond this. You have this data. Now, what do you actually do with this data? It's good data, but professionals, entrepreneurs, business owners, we have a different process or a process of thinking, of ideation. Once you get data, immediately your mind starts to wander off. Hey, what if I change this? For example, I'm looking at this data and I realize my income was $8,000. I spent $9,600. I got to do something about it. I can literally ask Claude, then look at my expense statements and tell me where I could have saved money, or what do you think was a want expense and not a need expense. The way you interact, the more you interact with Claude, it not only learns what you want, but I can guarantee you that your mind will start thinking in so many different ways that you will not only become a better analyzer, but you'll be on top when it comes to productivity. But more than that, the way you think is going to change. So please, when you have time, explore Claude and Excel, and do not hold yourself back. If you think you need a graph, if you think you need a different kind of analysis, if you want even a balance sheet and a P&L which is ready to submit to the IRS created out of this, I've tried it. It actually works. And it works so well that last week on April 15th, the day before the final tax filing date, I had not done my taxes. So I got frustrated. I put everything I had in a folder and asked Claude to build me a balance sheet, a profit loss statement, and my 1040. And it took me about, I think, 15 minutes to build all of that, although it took me another 45 minutes or an hour to plan my taxes, which, of course, Claude helped me with. So when it comes to Excel, recapping what we just talked about, you'll see the Claude button once you open Excel and start Claude, start a new sheet or an existing Excel sheet, and just dive in. One thing to be clear, and I got some confirmation from both Anthropic on their Twitter account and some of their team members who answer on Reddit. The data that you use or scan or pretty much analyze here is not going to Anthropic servers. What is actually going to Anthropic servers is the logs of how the data was analyzed, if Claude made mistakes, how did Claude find or fix itself when it came to those mistakes, and how people are interacting. But the files you upload, the data that you upload, are not actually going to Anthropic for training LLMs or pretty much doing anything else. However, I would still say anything that contains your social security number, anything that contains your actual full bank account numbers, I would pretty much not use unless the whole AI system becomes more secure. So what I did was some of my bank statements which had the full account number shown, I just took a marker or I opened the PDF on my computer and just blanked it out. We were good from there. So just to maintain security and hygiene when it comes to our data, please knock out any or cross out any sensitive information, but then you should be good to go from there. Now, I open up a question to everyone who's on the team today. I want to build a presentation along with you guys, and I'm going to show you a couple of ways you can build presentations and a couple of ways how the future of presentations look. We all know PowerPoint. We all know Canva. We all know Figma, although Figma is so technical, pretty much I don't think anyone on this team or this meeting uses it, but it's a great tool nonetheless. But there's a different way to do presentations. So I'm going to show you all of that. Who can volunteer that I use their brand? Because I want to build something that is real and not just a fake ass presentation. So Fedna is the first to opt in. Okay. So I'm going to close Excel and we'll start from scratch. Like I don't know anything about building a presentation. And there are two ways I'm going to do both of them simultaneously. So this is the familiar way to most of us, which is Claude Cowork. I'm going to open another window and let me show you the even better way and how both of them work. Let me actually open Chrome because it's better at a few things. So Claude, and we're going to go to claude.ai/design. All right. So we'll have both of them side by side. Now, let me first just quickly talk about how these two things are different from each other, although they're from Claude. So Claude Design is 100% focused on brand design and producing elements which either require graphics, design, or branding. Claude, on the other hand, can take all of those inputs, but you got to give it first. Give it something, give it context. Like, hey, this is my brand. Can you build something similar for me? Design, on the other hand, you can build a design system, as we last talked about, but I'm going to quickly show you what I built. So, for example, design system. I built my IgnorAInt design system on last Sunday when I got the cease and desist. All I had to do, because I had no brand, I had no logo, I had nothing. So what you could do is go into design systems and create, and you can just fill up pretty much everything that you imagine. Don't hold back on this part. So this is my brand, this is my company name, this is what we do, this is our talking style, this is how I want my brand to look: luxurious, upscale, avant-garde, or funny, or vibrant, or young, or also mention who's your target audience. It's Gen Alpha, Gen Z, business owners, professionals, healthcare professionals, CRNAs. Let your imagination run wild on how much data you can produce, how much data you can put in. And then any other note, like you imagine a warm, earthy palette, or you like greens, or you like blues. Just give it that stuff, give it 5 minutes. It'll come up with a design system. Now, let me just show you what it came up for me when I started building the IgnorAInt design system. So it built out the logos for me, which I really liked, needed a few tweaks. It built out a purposed course platform idea that if you end up holding courses, this is how the course platform could look like. It built out an email template for me. So if you send out newsletters, hey, this would look really good. It built out a marketing slide, which is actually my website now. So I use this template and built out my website. It can give you, Anita, this is Claude Design. It is separate from Cowork and Code. All you got to do is go to claude.ai/design. And I'm going to show you something amazing it does, but claude.ai/design. But it runs off a separate bank of credits from your Claude account. So good question. Let me clarify that. If you go to your Claude and go to settings and usage, you'll now see Claude Design. So it has a separate batch of credits. So the good part is, if you think there's going to be a huge task ahead of you, one is design, one is planning. I usually use Claude to plan everything, throw everything into Claude Design, and then use Claude Design credits to build that stuff for me. It saves me a lot of credits and tokens and eventually money. All right. Social templates. It has produced ideas on how this is web-based for now. Anthropic said in 3 months, it will integrate and merge with Cowork on the desktop. But even now, I'm going to show you how they work cohesively together. So it has built everything. Basically, the whole brand for me. Call to actions, whatnot. Once you've built this, you can pretty much do anything, right? Just say, I want to build a slide deck, which is your presentation, and I want to use the IgnorAInt design system or whatever company your design system belongs to. Just select that. You can do speaker notes. It'll actually generate speaker notes for you for that presentation and create, wait for the magic to happen. It usually takes about 3 to 4 minutes. You have an entire system built. So since I think Fedna opted in today, so I'm going to use, let me see what's her website. Eagle Cap Ventures. Okay, so this is FedNet's website. I'm gonna run both things simultaneously and we'll know the difference. The whole process from start to finish might take about 10, 12 minutes, but what you learn along the way is gonna be really amazing. So let's go to Design Systems. Let's do Eagle Cap. And I'm not gonna, oh, sorry, wrong place. I'm gonna create a design system, sorry about that. And I'm gonna say my company is called, I hate that this doesn't have the voice notes. So Eagle Cap Ventures. And my website is, then you can enter the URL. I want to create a brand, design system, which is what Claude calls it. That's it, because we already have a design. We don't want to give it too much stuff to move on. Now, if you have your logos and other assets, which is primarily in my case, it was always just logos, you can drop it here. I'm going to skip that step. Let's see what it comes up with when you're building a design system. So continue, 5 minutes to generate your design system. All right, let's go. So let it work. Meanwhile, here on Claude, I'm going to do the same thing, but since we cannot build a design system, I'm going to build a presentation based off a topic, which will do the same once the design system is built there. So, hey Claude, I want to build a design. Scratch that. I want to build a presentation on PowerPoint and a standalone HTML. And I want to talk about how multifamily investing is the benchmark of alternative investments for a lot of professionals who do not have the time to actively invest, and talk about the pain points, talk about what multifamily investment would mean for them, and also talk about, well, not just talk about, actually research. Oh, sorry, I pressed the back button. Oh, damn. Okay, let's do it again. Hey, Claude, I want you to build a detailed presentation on PowerPoint and a standalone HTML for me. My company's name is Eagle Cap Ventures. And I want you to research and talk about and cover pretty much everything when it comes to pain points professionals face, how multifamily investing is different from other alternative forms of investing, how is it beneficial to busy professionals, and also do some research for me, like how it compares to the S&P 500 maybe over the last 30 years, so that we can give them context of how much this is better, not just better. All right, so that's a prompt. I'm going to hold on to that. Just quickly jump here. Just to give you an update, it has scanned the logos, scanned the colors. It has found the call to action colors, basic colors, and pretty much starting to look good. But let's go back here. So another thing I mentioned last time is always work in a project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a project selection folder. So Claude projects. Let me build another one just for the fun of it. I'm going to do Eagle Cap, open, always allow. So what this helps to reiterate what I said last time, when you work inside a project folder, it could be off your Google Drive, it could be off your iCloud Drive, it could be off your OneDrive. Anything that Claude builds for you, including source code or PowerPoints, Excel sheets, gets synced to that folder and back to your cloud. So if you end up losing Claude, losing your computer, your data is always backed up. Now, while we wait for the design system to fire up, I'm going to just push this prompt and see what it builds. But there's a crucial part we're missing, which is we haven't told Claude yet what my brand looks like. And since this is my account, I can assure you this does not have any clue about Eagle Cap Ventures. So I would just add one more line. Please make the presentation according to my brand from this website. And I'm going to fire this away. It'll take about a couple minutes, and while we wait for the design system to get done. Now, here's the important part. This also came as a feedback from a lot of my, I'm going to allow this because it needs access to the folder. So a lot of my colleagues in the company, they asked me, why are you able to do things differently when we're trying to do the same thing, but we get a really bad output from Claude? And I actually sat down with them and tried to figure out what they were doing differently from me. And trust me when I say this, when you work with Claude, please feel like the dumbest person in the room. I know. But please feel and act like you're the dumbest person in the room. Do not try to use fancy words. Do not try to restrict Claude by saying, hey, think you're a CEO of this company or you're the designer for a Fortune 500 company. You're basically restricting what Claude can do. Because Claude, we have more experience, we have more human experience, but Claude has vastly more data, more access to things we've never seen, heard, or talked about. So let's not restrict Claude. The more simpler your prompts are, the more dumber your prompts are, believe me, the output comes out way better. So act like you're the dumbest person in the room, you don't know nothing. And in the process of doing that, you will end up learning a lot more things to do efficiently going forward. For example, this prompt is not a developer prompt. It's a simple human asking someone to do something. Another thing I noticed with a few developers in my company at Excite Capital, when I gave them access to Claude and say, hey, can you build this website for me, all this whole app for me? They took 4 weeks to build. And I didn't pause them. I let them complete the task. And they came back to me last Friday and said, this is what I built. It was nice. It was actually pretty nice. But I said, you took 4 weeks to build. Can I show you something? It was a 40-minute meeting we had. I gave the same prompt that I had imagined in my head to Claude, and Claude built that entire exact same thing, looking better, feeling better, more transactional, with a lot more features within 25 minutes. And we went live by the end of the meeting. It was not, that exercise was not meant to show him I am better. It was to show him how dumb I act to Claude, because he was thinking like a developer. Other team members were thinking like they know everything about IR. Some were thinking that like they know everything about operations. Someone was thinking, I was thinking when I started that I know everything about marketing or IT or technology. But then I started to feel that I am not doing justice by not talking to Claude more like a human and less like what my professional career or my profession entails. So try that, you'll get better results. Now, let's look at what Claude Cowork has been up to. So it's looked at the brand website, and it is starting to create the PowerPoint. Now, if you dig in, the thinking part, it is actually interesting. I implore and urge everyone to go, whenever you see the thinking sign, click the drop down, because if you have time, of course. And then you can see what Claude is doing in the background. What is the thinking behind it? And it is actually analyzing so many websites simultaneously and then building up a set of data points that will make this presentation work. And then it went to Eagle Cap, figured out everything, the color gamut, color profiles, and then it started researching into the Eagle Cap brand when it comes to talking points, what they're selling, and what their pitch is. it is just beautiful the way Claude thinks because it self-corrects and then it goes on and on and on. So since we're building a PowerPoint, it takes a little more time because what it's essentially doing is using Microsoft's PowerPoint architecture, the programming behind it, and building a blind spot PowerPoint for you with no access to actual PowerPoint software yet. So while Claude goes through this process and builds the whole thing, let's just look at what the brand, what Claude Design has come up with when it comes to the brand. So it has picked up all the fonts, all the brand colors, shades of brand colors, gradients, pretty much everything that has to do with Eagle Cap Ventures. Now, since we have this brand, I'm going to do one simple thing. This is ready to go. I'm going to go back. Before I go back, I'm going to just publish it. Publish it means other queries or chats within Claude Design can use this brand. So I've just published it. Now I'm going to go back. I'm going to say presentation deck for investors. And I'm going to use the Eagle Cap brand design guidelines. And what I'm going to do further to this is I'm going to copy this prompt so that we're on the same page when it comes to comparing. And this is the most important part. When you're looking at this screen, the design system, you should make sure it shows the brand you're working with. You could have multiple design systems. For Excite Capital, I have 5 design systems built in there. If you love an idea of a presentation that, oh my God, this looks so beautiful, you can just take a screenshot and put a screenshot there. So it'll follow your brand guidelines, but that style of presentation. If you have a code base, I just ignore it. I never have a code base. If you have a Figma file, you can drop it. I also ignore it. But I'm just going to paste the whole thing. Hey, Claude, I want you to build a detailed presentation. Exact same prompt. The only thing I'm going to take out is tell it that use this brand from this website. Because remember, it's already done that when it built a design system for you. Now everything is set. I'll just press go. So this is just starting to build. But here's the interesting thing. When we talk to Claude, it just starts building it because it assumed this is what I meant. But since Claude Design's goal is to just give you the best possible output, I'm going to, for a moment, zoom in so everyone can see this. It is asking me a bunch of questions. Who is the primary audience? Remember, I did not specify the primary audience. What happened was the design system went to the website, found out who FEDNA targets as investors, and now is giving me all the options. So you know what? I want to do healthcare professionals. I want to do healthcare plus general investors. I can even do first-time passive real estate investors or sophisticated investors already familiar with this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it to Claude because I don't know. I'm dumb at this, right? But you can choose. If you're targeting someone, choose. How long should the presentation run? This is important. If you want your presentation to run about 30, 40 minutes, select it here because then it's going to build the accurate number of slides. And I researched something. The way it builds these slides based on time is basically it has an analysis and data on how many slides take how much time based off what is the content of the slide. So this is really accurate. So for now, let's do 30 minutes. What is the goal? Do you want them to bring them to a webinar or a live presentation? Is it a one-to-one meeting? Is it a conference, event, keynote, whatever? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one-to-one investor meeting. Let's say you're presenting to an investor. How much focus on healthcare pain points? You can select a ratio. So I would say let's do 50-50. I don't want to bore people with just talking about pain points. How much depth on S&P asset class comparison? I'm going to go all the way. Give me all the comparisons you can get. Which asset class should we compare against? Let's do S&P. Let's do bonds and treasuries. I know if Leslie's here. Let me see if Leslie's here.
Let's also do single family. That would be a good one.
Okay, single
Yeah.
family, and I don't know, crypto will jank out the whole graph. So let's leave crypto out for now.
Yes, no crypto.
Include specific return targets. Yes, typical industry standards. Let's just do typical. And do you want to like the founder story? Brief mention. Include a feature deal. Let's do a case study. Let's see what it comes up with, because I have not talked about all of this. How much tax advantage? No, dedicated. One summary slide. Let's do one slide. What is the call to action? You're already on a one-to-one call, so I don't think. Let's do other and see what it comes with. Any tweaks you like exposed? Toggle. So these are tweaks. So let me explain what are tweaks. So when it comes to Claude design and tweaks, this is basically options you want at the end of the build that you can tweak. Dark light means your presentation is going to switch between a dark presentation with bright text or vice versa. So you can have a bright presentation with dark text. You could swap accent colors because all brands have multiple accent colors. Show height specific numbers, cycle alternative, title slide. I'll turn everything on. One important thing before you push continue, just check this wheel and make sure you're on Sonnet. And I think that's pretty much it. Yep. So now we're ready. Let's continue. All right. It's going to soon build up a whole process for me, which is to-do notes, and we can follow that. While it's doing that, give it a moment. Let's go back of what Claude Cowork has done. So far it's written about 45,000 characters because it's actually writing the PowerPoint script. If you do not do PowerPoint and you actually end up doing HTML, which I'm going to show you how good it looks and what additional things you can do with it, you can pretty much choose. If you're the only one presenting each time, the HTML presentations are really beautiful because you can have animations, you can have special effects, even sounds and videos embedded. PowerPoint has none of that. So we're actually moving forward into a different era of presentations, which are going to be more dynamic with these tools. So PowerPoint, remember, is not your only option. And going forward, I think you should all explore the HTML presentation build. And to be fair, both systems are doing the same. So let's see. Okay, I'm going to allow, because it's rendered all the slides, it's actually asking me to save it. And I'm not sure what just happened. Whatever. Okay, so let's see. Done. So I'm going to see running quality checks. Okay, sometimes this is good that it happened because now you know. Sometimes it says done and that's it. So what it was trying to do was take a screenshot and check on what was going on, but then it didn't give me a heads up. It took over my screen, which I didn't like, and I panicked and came back. So you could just ask, hey, what happened? I usually just put up a question mark and it'll carry on from where it left and finish what it was trying to do. Now, but here on the side is the Eagle Cap folder we created. We can always open that folder and you will see there's a PowerPoint already there. What it's just trying to do is making sure it looks good, but we're gonna skip that and see what is built so far. So it has pretty much covered most of the important topics. It has compared the S&P 500, hedge funds, and the volatility, minimum entry, like whatever data it could pull, 30-year performance, how multifamily weathers every market storm, blah, blah, blah. It goes on and on. But I would say it's pretty much done a really amazing job because not only do you build a presentation in under 5 minutes or maybe under 7 minutes, but you have something to go already based off the brand. Now, To be fair to Claude, it did not have the exact color theme, because what it did was it went to the website, picked up all the colors. It had no clue what the background should look like. It just picked all colors and threw it in there. So if you would see most of the slides, they're heavily colored instead of what FedNA's website actually looks like. But this is fixable. You can go back and give it another command that, hey, can you change the color theme to be a brighter background based off my color palette and stuff like that. But that is like going back and forth. But while it's already done that. If you look at the screen here, it is now starting to build the HTML version. And I'll show you why. To me, HTML always stands out better, but let it write. Meanwhile, what is it doing here? Let's just see. So it has search everything, kind of build a narrative. And it's now using the visual system to kind of build the final product. Usually this process takes about 5 to 7 minutes, but what comes out is really good. So we'll give this a couple of moments and this a couple of moments. I can address some questions while we wait. Okay, so no questions so far, and that is okay. What I also, while we wait, wanted to highlight is no matter what you do, no matter if you have a side hustle, no matter if you do not have a brand, a full-blown brand yet, or an established brand, please go to Claude.ai Design and try experimenting with building your design system and what you can come up with. The most amazing thing I love about Claude Design is, and as I'm going to show you, you can pretty much do a lot of crazy stuff, which would have required developers or entire teams to plan for you. So let's go back and see. It's pretty much almost done. So question to everyone who's present. What is it usually that takes up most of your time as either business owners, side hustlers, when it comes to your marketing efforts or planning or designing something? Or just like, I would love to know more about your thought process and what consumes the most number of hours. So maybe we can come up with something and provide a solution to that. Organizing. Okay.
Research mostly for me.
Organizing, planning.
Oh, I don't think.
All right, cool. Anyone else? Planning. Thank you, Dr. Biker. Anyone else? I have something on planning, which is kind of amazing. Marketing. Thanks, Lena. All right, marketing. All right, so let's look at a couple of things here. Marketing, planning, and organizing. So planning and organizing can actually fall into one solution, and research. All right, cool. So primarily what every business owner needs, right? Planning, organizing, and then researching and actually marketing. So cool. We'll do a few things here in a bit, but I'm just waiting on the results. I'm excited to see. Oh, it has built it. All right. So let's see what it's doing now, just to make sure I don't open the file before it has the files. I don't want you to present. I'm just going to go to my folder, and there should exist an HTML file. And indeed, I'm going to open it and see what it has built. Okay. So this is what it has built for me. I'm going to just zoom in, and we're going to go through it together. Now, this is with nothing, no context I gave. It has built an HTML file for me. I know it kind of looks bland, and there's the reason, and there's the that's why I think Claude Design exists. but it has pulled everything. You can talk to Claude, improve on it, and kind of make it suitable to you, your brand, and your presentation style. But it did it. Why I like HTMLs is you don't need to carry a file with you. It's going to give you a URL, and you can pretty much carry the URL with you and open it anywhere and start presenting. It shows up, the website that it builds as a presentation shows up as a clean interface. So there's just back and forth buttons, and you can present like you normally would. However, I personally think this is too bland for my taste compared to what it did in PowerPoint. So we're going to close this, but we have an idea of what Claude can come up with and what Claude Design is about to come up with. So let me go back and let's see what it has done. I think it has built something. I'm going to zoom out. Now look at the freaking difference. It is again a PowerPoint presentation, but look at how beautiful it is. And when I said tweaks, dark, white background, stuff like that, you can actually, okay, Clay, I think what has happened is, give me 1 second. Let's look at all the slides. So this one, there's a tweak needed, like the part 1 doesn't show up. I want this to change, or instead of teal, I want a clay. So slides that would use a clay background, it turns. So clay, let's do teal. Okay, it's not working with some things. Full bleed. And remember, I turned out title slide layout, so I have options here. I can do a full bleed, but this will only act where slides do have these options. But anyways, look at the difference from what Claude Design built for you and what Claude Cowork built for you. Isn't this just amazing? Like, probably I'm thinking, well, this is the photo I did not give. It was in the design system, which was pulled from FEDNA's website, and the way it also, FEDNA, you caught it, the way it analyzes images, what works better for your audience. I have seen that I had headshots, I had community photos, I had lifestyle photos like this one, and whenever I try to build a slide or a website for Excite Capital or the Impart Journey or any of the products or services that we offer to our investor network, it almost and always picks the more humane or takes the more humane approach. What will your picture convey to the audience? And it has never once picked out a headshot unless I asked it to. Now in this slide, okay, we'll come back to the tweaks later, but let's look at what are the options. So things that'll mess up sometimes, like color combinations where something doesn't look good, but I'll show you how to quickly fix that. It has done storytelling. It has done what it takes to start, 5 ways to invest, expect as a passive investor, honest look, index fund story, S&P's most damaging years, brand, what is this? Bonds offer safety at a meaningful growth. So pretty much a wide gamut of comparisons. Then it build out graphs for us. Why multifamily wins the long game. When market collapsed, multifamily didn't. Stuff like this. How multifamily stacks up when compared to other alternative investment forms. And pretty much everything I would need in a presentation, including pictures of assets, what I've done, what I've worked with, it has pulled up. And meet the founder. Now, just imagine this picture is a little off. Again, tweakable in an instant. Is it right for you? Ask an open-ended question. Let's have a conversation. This is beautiful because it kind of directs attention to the call to action rather than anything else. So the point I was trying to show is presentation is part of life for pretty much every single person in this room today. and even not in this room, use Claude Design to your advantage. It is amazing at what it can do and the professional results that it has produced for me and for my brand, Excite Capital, in parts here, as I said. Now, compared to that, we did the same prompt, exact same prompt on Claude Cowork. And although the PowerPoint was good, I personally feel this is modern. This is way too brand. And this actually stand out in a sea of PowerPoint presentations, which are boring, dull, and just look awful. Personally, I have always hated PowerPoint with, it's an intentional hate because I am OCD about spacing, about branding, about the look and feel, and PowerPoint is just a pain to work with when it comes to giving out beautiful presentations. But there were a lot of things that didn't look right, and I would suggest never go to this prompt down here and start entering the fixes. Instead, go and comment, turn on comment first, and then go back. Why? Because when you add comments, it's going to go back. It's not going to go back to your entire chat history and reference all of that. That's going to save you a ton of tokens. So turn on comment and then say, okay, slide 9, for example. Let's do one quick exercise. This is slide 26. Slide 26. My photo is way off. That is it. I just don't like it. So it's way off. Again, not trying to be specific. It'll analyze that for me and figure out how to fix it. But meanwhile, as we wait for this slide to auto-fix itself, anyone has any questions, comments, love to hear what are you feeling about this product, because I love it. So much so, let me tell you a cool story, because I love when this happens. So Tenny, I'm pretty sure everyone knows Tenny. We were about to do a presentation for a webinar on Thursday. He was driving, and he called me at 5:25. Addie, I had this brilliant idea to do a new presentation. I said, Tenny's 40 minutes away. We got to start in not even 40, it's 35 minutes away. So Addie, work your magic. We can do something. And he sent me all the pointers, like I want slide 1 to 10 to be structured like this. I said, okay, give me 5 minutes. I copy pasted his entire iMessage, pasted into Claude Design, and just use the Excite Capital design system and say, build me a presentation. And it went through the entire process. While we wait for this to fix, I'm going to show you what it built in just that matter of seconds. So let me see. And this is the power of using AI, that I was not bound by time, if you know what I mean. Like, as long as I have everything set up and ready, I can pretty much come up with a lot of stuff on the get-go, like just a simple thought, and I'm good to go. So this is still needs refinement, but you'll see what was done in literally 5 minutes from an iMessage that Tenny sent and we built. And we were ready to present. Of course, there's a lot of tweaks I can add, but that was it. 5 minutes, ready to go. All right, so now it's figured out what's wrong and it's trying to kind of fix it. So as I said, all of this can be fixed with tweaks and requests in the chat itself. But please, I urge you, go and experiment with your design system. If you mess up, there is no harm. So let me go back. If you mess up your design system, just delete it, create a new one, try different prompts. But this is going to elevate your entire brand strategy. Now, one of the demos I was going to give today actually falls back to this. So I'm going to do that now instead of later, which is building your marketing ideas and stuff. Since we've already built Fedna's brand, let's do that. So what I'm going to do is go to prototype, and I'm going to say LinkedIn ads, and I'm going to use design system for Eagle Cap. I'm going to do create. Make sure, again, design system is Eagle Cap. And I'm going to show you something amazing. I'm going to add, so down here, you see this wheel icon at the bottom. If you click it, sorry, not the wheel icon. This design system. When you click it, you have a lot of options. What are those? Animated video. Yeah, I could do an animated video for LinkedIn, so I'm going to click that. Then what else? Interactive prototype. Let me zoom in. Interactive prototype is basically you want something to be built which has live interaction. So LinkedIn doesn't allow that. We're going to skip, but this is really cool. I'll show it in a second. Make tweakable. Yes, I do want tweakable. Front-end design. This is front-end design is basically if you want to build something which if your brand doesn't exist or you're basically experimenting. And that is it. I might want to save it to PDF, so I'll use it, but that's it. I want you to create a few ads for me to post on LinkedIn. That's it. I'm not going to say anything else because it knows my brand, it knows my messaging, and it knows pretty much what I'm trying to do here. So everything's been already established when we build brand guidelines. What is the primary goal? Let me zoom in so everyone can see. What is the primary goal of these ads? I want to book calls. Everyone wants to book calls. Who are you targeting? Fedna, do you want to target PAs or do you want to explore other people?
Can I have more than one option?
Yes, let's do all.
So let's do PAs, MDs, doctors, all healthcare. No, yeah, PAs, MDs, and doctors.
All right.
Nurse practitioners.
What do you want? So single image, portrait. I really like bigger pictures because they take over the screen when someone's scrolling by. So I necessarily do not like square image ads because if you look at your vertical screen, it only covers a portion of it. So I'm going to do a portrait story. Fedna, do you want to build something else?
Yeah, let's add tech professionals to the other professionals.
Good call. All right. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to do multiple image carousels. How many variations would you like? I usually leave it default, but you can add more. What angle should the ad lead with? I would lead with the burnout because everyone's getting burned out.
Yep, I'll do
passive.
Passive, and then let's do social proof results. I like that one. So passive.
Okay. So Fedna, how about this? We explore a few options because I don't want to restrict Claude. It'll give us pretty much everything that's covered here. What's the call to action? Let's do book a free consult. Let's do a free consult.
Yep.
And should these ads feature a specific deal or the property? No. Any specific deal details? No. Tone or for the ad copy, I would say either calm or data forward. Actually, let's explore.
Yes.
And should any ads be animated? Yes. I'm going to do animated versions. So I'll do both static and animated versions. That's it. What it has built for Excite Capital in terms of designs, especially design, is just amazing. So much so that when I want to create something new, a new idea or a new design system, I talk to Claude Design rather than going back to Claude. I built websites, newer websites, gave my websites a entirely new overall. And I'm going to show you something while that works. So Excite Capital had a website. Yesterday I went in and why is it showing pink on Chrome? I think Claude has taken over, so it's showing pink. It's not pink. Actually, this looks bad. It's driving me crazy. Let me show you something. And I'll give you a reason why I'm showing you this, because every now and then we feel that as business owners, we could do something better with things we build. And we had a beautiful website, but then I started to analyze what was broken and how we can even make it punchier, deliver more value, make people stay more. So I created this entire design on Claude Design, basically talking to it for over an hour and say, this is what I want. This is the feel I would want. I want to add this video. I want to do this. If you look at this, even the images are slightly floating and have motion in them. Arrows, I want to direct people to this segment. So static versus animated. All numbers throughout the website are animated. And multiple videos, pictures. Basically, I sat down and built an entire new design, but I did not change the color theme, did not change the color palette. And I was able to do that in probably under an hour. And then all it took was, I'm going to show you how you can leverage this to actually build stuff. But go ahead and explore Claude Design while we wait, or on your own time. If you're on your computers, just try something. But otherwise, let's just wait for this to complete. While we wait, I'm just gonna bring up what we're gonna talk about next. Okay, so there are two important things I want to talk about today. Also being mindful of everyone's time is LinkedIn, analyzing your LinkedIn profiles. A lot of people asked me last time, so I'm going to cover that quickly. And then the most important part, which you're going to be blown away with, is Gemini's facial recognition. And I'm going to show you what I used that for, and eventually ended up building a blogging system for not just one, but all our brands, including my own brand, in under a day. So stay tuned for that. The Gemini thing is really amazing. It works for conferences. It works for webinars you've had. Pretty much any video recording that you have access to, it can build out an amazingly, shockingly, amazingly. I'm running out of words. It is so beautiful. So we'll look at that while we wait. And then we're going to open up for Q&A, and I have something to talk about what's coming from the AI world in the next couple of months. So this takes a little time because it's building all the images for you, ready to go. It is building a lot of animated slides for you. So the animation takes a little time to code. So let's give it a moment. What I'm going to do meanwhile is I'm going to go into, let me see. I have it on the company site. So I'm going to go to Gemini. And I'm going to switch to my Gemini. All right. And I'm going to show you how to start with the image recognition and facial recognition system and what it can do for you. Let me just see. All right, cool. So here's the catch when it comes to analyzing videos with Gemini. Most of the webinars you're going to have, or most of the recordings you get from keynotes or events or your one-to-one meetings, they're not going to be 20, 30 megabytes. They're going to be 600 megabytes. There's going to be 700 megabytes. They might be 2, 3, 4, 5 gigabytes. Gemini's context window, which you see here, this one can only take about 30 megabytes, 30, 35 megabytes of video files. So how do you analyze all this stuff? It's impossible. And the best part, and the crazy part is, unless you give it that video, it does not do a good job. I've tried Firefly transcripts. They suck. I've tried Zoom transcripts, not good at all. Actual video works really good in Gemini. So How do you get around that limit? Here's how you get around that limit. You go to your YouTube page, and no matter how many gigabytes of video content you have, you go to your YouTube page, go to your YouTube studio, and under content, you start uploading those files and leave it to process. It takes about 2 to 3 hours for YouTube to complete processing. And then you can just mark it public for a short time, and then you can start using it. So let's get a link from our webinar that we did for tax. We had an expert come in, and we're gonna build something off that. So what I'm gonna do while we wait let me pause. Let me pause if something has been built so I can, okay, it has been built. We're gonna go through this first, and then we're gonna go back to Gemini. And let me just do this, view actual size. All right, so this is what Claude has built. So these are all LinkedIn specific ads to their dimensions, what we chose. And look at the copy. You didn't choose medicine to feel financially stuck. It pulled out a picture automatically. I gave it no context. What does freedom look like? And just look at this. This is where I want you to focus your attention. What does freedom look like? Freedom, from all the pictures that's on the website, would be driving a car on the highway on a sunny afternoon, going to the beach, whatever. But this was the photo that it could pick out automatically that will resonate with freedom. So it's not just building stuff for the sake of building for you. I spent years in the clinic, then I found out a hard way. Just a candid picture of Fenna standing in her scrubs. Interactive slides. These are carousels, which will have buttons on LinkedIn, and you can scroll past these. No time for yourself. So these are animated slides. They upload to LinkedIn like a video. So you can download them, add music, even ask Claude to add music. But
Addie,
this is autoplay. Yes.
Addie, I will mention that it shows a picture from my Instagram, which was pretty impressive.
Which one is that?
It's the one of me and the girls. We're all in the scrubs. I don't have that on LinkedIn at all. That's just for my Instagram.
Was it
Oh,
in
maybe it's
the?
for my website. No, maybe I have it on the website. That's
Yeah, I
probably why.
think because I didn't ask. I could ask it to find my Instagram and pull pictures, but it
That one
might
is
be
from my
somewhere, maybe in
website.
a
Yeah.
small section. But here's the cool part. None of us on this call knows editing. So this has been built. Who wants to go to Canva and click a line and do all the crazy? You can change everything within this context tweak window. I want the CTA to sound something different. I want the audience eyebrow, which is the target audience, to change. I want the headline to change. If you have something, change it. You can pretty much change the accent colors and apply all of that. But here's why I'm showing you this. That this has saved you an entire design team and hours of work on Canva and doing this stuff. And this is just the first production. You can keep tweaking it that, hey, I like the approach to be more funny, more humorous, or more human, and keep tweaking it. And you can keep building it. And as you progress, you can keep adding, hey, can you do this for me for Instagram? Can you do this for me for Facebook? How about this? How about that? Just throw your ideas to Claude and it'll start producing stuff. Now, once you've done this, fancy work, right? Once you've done this, how do you actually download this? Because all of this is online. So first thing, rookie mistake, what I did was I went in here and said export as PPT, PowerPoint. I didn't see anything to export as a PNG or a JPEG. So I asked Claude, because I'm dumb. So I said, hey, how do I download JPEGs? Oops, sorry. All right. So it's going to build out download JPEG buttons. You might want a PNG. That's also fine. But Okay, so it says you cannot do JPEGs. So let me download PNGs because some of them have transparency, so PNGs would work better. And it'll build out a button to download PNGs on each slide. To save us time, what I'm going to do is let it build, but I'm going to take you back to the LinkedIn. I think I built something for myself. Yeah. So I was trying to build a wallpaper for my brand, and the same thing happened that I did not have a download button. So I said, build me a download button, and here's what it did. So next to each wallpaper, it has a PNG. I click it, and I get the file. So this is my wallpaper file. I can download, post. I'm good to go. Another thing you can do, once you've downloaded everything, you take those downloads into your project folder, open a new chat on Cloud Cowork, and say, I have my LinkedIn logged in. I have some ad and pictures which I created today. Could you go and upload it and post it on my LinkedIn? Saves you the work of going, posting, blah, blah, blah. So what you can do with it is limitless. Do not let you stop you from doing the best or using Claude the best way. All right, cool. So now we know that. Let's go back to Gemini. Okay, where is that? All right, here we go. Now, Gemini is probably the best tool I have for facial recognition, voice analysis, and not just voice analysis, also reading different accents. And when I say different accents, any kind of accents. Like I've thrown the most problematic accents to understand, and it has come out perfect. So what we're going to do, as I said, you cannot upload a large file directly into the context window. I'm going to go again, copy that webinar. I'm going to paste it here, and I'm going to write my prompt now. So I'm going to say, I have this webinar we did at Excite Capital. Can you analyze the entire video and produce the following for me? One, I want a complete breakdown of what was shared. I want the entire set of questions asked and answered. All right. Then I want a summary of the event. Then I want feedback. So I want feedback and appreciation shared. Tips shared. And then lastly, I want, what do I want? I think feedback, summary. Let's do key takeaways. Now, I need to guide it, how to build it. Like, what am I going to use it for so it produces a better result? So I am eventually going to build a blog about this. And I also want you to capture timestamps from the video as references to whatever you put out. And I'll show you why I added that in. Make sure if you have a pro account, select pro. If you have a free account, you get limited pro credits, but then again, it works. And we'll go. And this is pretty quick because it's not gonna watch the 1 hour video. It's gonna digitally analyze the whole face. Like it's gonna study the source code of the video. So it usually ends up 30 seconds, 20 seconds. I think it's already reviewing the transcript, pretty much webinar data, webinar transcript, webinar content, analyzing the video, extracting key questions, and here's a breakdown. What, it took 15 seconds? let it finish. It's pulling up a lot of stuff, including timestamps, pretty much everything. Now I'm gonna, after this is done, I'm gonna show you how to actually use it. So, and it pulled out a link to the video for people to watch the recording. But look at the timestamps and what it has built. So it has first created, it has first created the summary of the event. If I can zoom in, yes. Hosted by Excite Capital, featured Lena. Oh, well, Lena, sorry about this. It's not C, it's S, but we can fix some things. But other than that, it has pretty much captured everything. Complete breakdown of what was shared. Entire set of questions asked and answered in a format people can understand, including timestamps. So if you're watching the video alongside of the blog, you can actually, oh, I wanted to know about Roth. It's at 27 minutes, 44 seconds. You can jump. Tip shared. Who shared the tip? Key takeaways. Feedback and appreciation shared. So anytime during the whole event, if someone said, oh, I love this, keep them coming, blah, 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 I love the interaction, it has all been shared. You can actually build an entire testimonial platform or a section for your brand just based on the feedback you get on every webinar. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start selecting all of this. And here's until here. Not the prompt or its thinking process, but I'm copy all of this. And as usual, I'm going to go back to Claude Design. And I'm going to say blog post. All right. And let's do, okay, let me switch to here because this is Excites Claude. And I think it'll do better justice. So I'm going to do blog post. And I'm going to select Excite Capital's design, create. And I'm just going to do one thing. Help me create an engaging blog post for my website. And when I paste, you'll see something like this. Let me zoom in. You'll not see the entire text. You'll see pasted 103 lines. That is it, because it takes that context into memory rather than filling up your chat window with all of it. So it is easier to work with. Send. Now what Claude is going to do is analyze the content you build off Gemini and make it sound, look, and feel like you're talking to your audience. So again, questions. Is this a recap of a webinar? Yes. What is the main angle? So let's say I want to do an evergreen thing, all right? Who's the primary reader? Excite investors, busy professionals, you know what? Broader audience, because who doesn't want to know about tax savings? How long should it be? I usually keep it short because if you make it too long, people lose interest. Let's do 600 words, full Q&A. Which moments deserve dedicated standout call-out cards? Now, this is really amazing. If there's part of the presentation you want to really show people, highlight, you can just select here. So I'm going to select the 3-step process and the Roth conversion. Let's just do that for now. Will there be a webinar replay? Yes, show a button. How prominent should Chris Barnett Inspired Financial be? Now, if it's a guest and it's your brand, I know you brought a guest, but sometimes the blog focuses too much or the talk focuses too much on that. You want to change the story that you were more engaging or you're the front running brand in this whole engagement. Featured guest card with a placeholder. What's at the bottom? Well, book a discovery call. Any tweaks? I would want to tweak the hero, Q&A, colors, whatever. Editorial style, rich, lots of polar quotes. Let's try rich. And reading progress bar. This is something I love. As you scroll down, there's a progress bar that keeps going. And share buttons. Who doesn't want to share? So, and estimated read time. Let's look at everything. Continue. Now, what we have accomplished in under 5 or 10 minutes is we had a video. We've analyzed the video. We've pulled the entire transcript, not the transcript, the entire blog post off that video. And now we've asked Claude to build an entire blog post matching our brand from that. So why I'm showing you this is for everyone who's running their company solo or hires out people on contract to do simple things. You don't need to. Imagine you have 2 or 3 webinars a week or 1 webinar every other week. You can literally spend 30-40 minutes, which includes downloading a video, uploading to YouTube, waiting an hour, because when it's uploading and processing, you're pretty much not doing anything. Then you come back, spend about 15 minutes building your entire blog, and send it to your website. Or if someone's handling your website, you send it to them. This is what I built. Can you upload it? But I'm working on a solution where whatever it builds can be sent to your websites, provided the website lives on a platform that accepts incoming HTML or live updates. But I have tried this with me and my team in the past 1 week. We published, I think, 3 successful blog posts in under 10 minutes. And I can say for some people and some members, amazing people in my team, having Claude alongside to work with them has started to produce entirely different kind of results. So what would previously been something just to execute, everyone in my team is now thinking how to make it beautiful, how to make it engaging. What can I explore more to make this content even worth more people's times? So this is, again, something that has been built. We'll just wait on this. And lastly, we got about 40 minutes. If you have any questions, anyone in the audience, you say you want me to cover anything specific going forward, I'm thinking of making this event a regular thing, maybe twice a month, where I cover new technologies I've discovered. I go through every aspect of AI every single day. During the start of the event, you might have seen my personal assistant, Jarvis, which I got inspired from Iron Man. He was welcoming everyone into this webinar or meeting. And it was something I built off Claude Design. And I'll throw in a nugget and show you how it was so simple. But if you want some specific solutions that you want me to build, if you want any particular topic to be covered from start to finish, and when I say something like this, we're building a blog post, but the end goal is to get it up and running on your website. And how to do that in a push of a button. I can take you through an entire class where I dig deep and show you all the process and tools required. It is pretty easy once you understand how. Similarly, we can probably sit and look at one of your brands and do an entire analysis of the brand. Right after this, I'm going to do the LinkedIn analysis, so y'all can leave with something that you can take note of, run off Claude, and analyze your LinkedIns. And I have seen pretty shocking results when it comes to Claude and LinkedIn, because it is harsh. The results are harsh to see, like, oh my God, I never thought my LinkedIn was so bad. But it is also enlightening, because now we can see what is wrong and where we can improve. So once this is done, we're going to hop onto LinkedIn and analyze a few profiles. I know a lot of people last time asked, can you analyze my profile? It'll not be worth doing all of them. I can do that on a spare time and send you reports on your email. But for now, from the audience we have, if anyone wants me to look at their LinkedIn profile is not, let me be clear, is not afraid to see what came up, please just put it in the chat. I would love to analyze actual profiles for you. Leah Krebs. All right, Leah, I'm going to do that. Manny. Thanks, Manny. Yeah, I figured out the hard way, because I was like, what the hell is going on? But it does it. So yeah, glad it worked out. So, okay, so we're going to do Leah. We're going to do anyone else. And don't be ashamed. Like, this is a no judgment zone. My LinkedIn profile until 3 weeks ago was bad. So All right. So, Selena, do me a favor. If you could drop your LinkedIn profile link in the chat, then it'll save us time to actually look for it. Anita, please just drop the link. It'll be a great help. And we're gonna analyze. It doesn't take long, so I can pretty much do 4 or 5 of them. All right, here's our blog. Now look at what it has produced for us. This is the Excite Capital's new updated brand as of yesterday. And it built a headline copy by itself, just analyzing what was the content and focus of that event. Here's your beautiful embedded video from the YouTube link, featured guest, and a section of the entire timeline of what is in the blog. Highlights, you remember it asked like what are the cards that you want to be highlighted, all shown here. Real examples that were discussed in the webinar. This is not hallucination, this is not research, this is what exactly went on in there. Quotes from the event, every question answered, and then the call to action. Now just imagine you built something that no other software or solution has been able to build in under 10-15 minutes. And now, to people who know HTML, to people who know how to manage websites, if you go here and export a standalone HTML, you can just attach it to your existing website under your blog. People who've managed to build websites off Claude or any other AI agent, you can take that HTML and tell that agent to add it as a blog on your website. And if your entire process now runs off Claude, which is me, and I take full responsibility of that, everything that I've built in the last 4 weeks is based off Claude. So everything that I have built for Excite, for Imparts Your Name is connected to my Claude Live. All that I do is export as HTML and ask Claude that I have an HTML, could you go to Excite website and add it and make it live for me? Literally is 20 seconds. Paste in a prompt and attaching the file. This is something for people who do not know HTML. I can show them how to work it out. But the gravity of the matter is what would have taken a team of 2 to 3 people who would analyze, score, write a copy like the whole blog post, and then create graphics, design, and then take it to your website and publish. You've removed at least 4 people from the mix. But here's the cool part. Now, anytime I say this to my team, they say, oh, what will happen to my job? And I'm saying, understand this. Your job is now not to do the things. Your job is now to make sure we can do more of the things that actually matter. Our job is going away from actually executing stuff. As I said last time, it is more about ideation and actually doing what our minds plan or think or want to execute. The execution part is gone. Trust me, it is gone. All right, so I have a few LinkedIn profiles. Let me start analyzing them. And what we're going to do is, again, use Claude, but it helps if you have Chrome connected and your LinkedIn logged in, because LinkedIn doesn't allow access to deep data if you're not logged in. So I think I had, you know what, let's forget what I had. I'm just going to analyze brand new. So let's do in order. Let's do Dr. Biker, copy link. I'm going to post this. All right, so this is Dr. Eric Biker. It's the same prompt. I'm going to just switch profiles as we go. And for this, I'm just going to leave Eagle Cap. Doesn't matter. So I have this profile, and I'm going to link it here. Open in Chrome. Can you analyze my profile entirely? If you do not enter entirely substantial like big words, it just does the front page and leaves. So can you analyze my profile entirely and tell me what works, what am I doing wrong, what can I do better? And again, I always leave an open-ended question. Anything else that you think would help my engagement? Don't like typing. All right. Here we go. That's all I gave. Pretty simple, human context. I don't know what's working. I don't know the marketing buzzwords, what to look for. Give me all you got. So what it's going to do is, although I have the link open, it's first going to try to connect to Claude, which it just did. And then it'll ask me for my permission. Then I'm going to do this. I'll just give it all browser action so I don't have to wait. And then it'll open the profile here in a second and start analyzing the profile. Now, you might not see the screen moving too much because once it opens the page, it can basically study the code behind it rather than scrolling up and back and forth. So whenever you see the slight glow on your Chrome window at the edges, that means Claude has access and is working on something. As I said, you might not see it scroll up and down, but it is extracting the whole page. And the output that usually comes out is really actionable. It's not giving you marketing garbage or, hey, you failed at this, you cannot do better, stuff like that. It'll give you actionable outputs that I would recommend changing this, I would recommend doing that. This is where you're doing right, this is where you're doing wrong, this is what your target audience looks like. This is what your headline should be. And I was analyzing a few profiles over the weekend for a few friends, for a few colleagues in my team. And I instantly realized, whoa, it makes sense. We never thought of that. So, okay, here's what Dr. Biker's profile looks like. So headline is strong, leading with professor at UNC Charlotte, international president of Phi Beta Delta, gives dual authority signals, academic credibility plus leadership. So this is good. About section is substantive. That is good. Impressive underlying credentials. Recent posting activity he's posting, which is more than academics. So this is good. AI fluency certification. This is good. What is wrong? 518 followers is dramatically low for his stature. Now, take this not as someone hitting or saying something bad about you. This is unbiased opinion. And why did it come out with that number? Because the credentials, which is a TEDx organizer, 11 years at UNC Charlotte, should have 3,000 to 10,000 followers. So room for improvement, and now there'll be actionables on this. So the event reminder spam. Now this has come across multiple LinkedIn profiles that I've analyzed. Whenever we keep posting event reminders, it kills engagement because those are pushed and your stories and your actual story-based posts or posts that matter get pushed down. But I found a solution to this. Almost no thought leadership content. So coming from the credentials, you could potentially do all of this more of, and I think that'll bring in a lot more thought leadership and a lot more engagement and followers and connections to your LinkedIn profile. Only one recommendation received. Usually with your stature, it should be 15 to 25. The custom URL is unprofessional. Now, why this matters is LinkedIn.com is fine, but if you look at the end, it is like a lot of letters. You could potentially, and I've done it for myself, you could potentially just do something small. So even if people forget the actual link, they can just go to linkedin.com/ and put that. Although the weight of this is questionable, but doesn't hurt. No featured section visible. Now this is, I actually experiment with last week on my profile. I added a featured section with my AI Masterclass, and I had 12 people as of today morning sign up just from that featured section. So if you're all missing that, please go ahead and add it. Hashtag usage is nearly absent. Having said that, LinkedIn respects 2 to 3 hashtags. If you go over that, your post actually gets demoted. Content variety is missing. What he can do better: add a featured section, lean into the AI angle, turn his frameworks into content, post with better hooks, use hashtags. Like, there's a 10-point post about this. And Dr. Biker, if you want, post this webinar. Today evening, I can copy paste and email it to you. So that was Dr. Biker. Thank you for sharing that. Let me look at the next one. Leah. So the good part is I don't have to type all of this again. Can you do the same for this profile? And to save time, I'm going to do one more thing. No, we'll just do it one by one. So it is on Leah's profile. Now, anyone who's opted to do this, first of all, thank you. And second of all, once I pull out the records, I'm going to email that to each one of you separately. And so you can just analyze and take away from the analysis. All right, cool. So I recommend, this is for LinkedIn. I recommend doing this for your Instagram profiles. I recommend doing this for any other social media profiles that you have. And just look at it. It doesn't harm anyone to look where there could be stronger. So just look at it. For Leah, headline is strong. About section is genuinely excellent. Clean, professional, custom URL. Rocket emoji, displays names, personal, perfect. Her network is well targeted. What's wrong? Top skills are completely misaligned with her brand. 9 skills out of listed out of 50 loud. The master's degree still shows present as the end date in 2026. No visible posting activity. The March 1851 followers is low for capital raising. No featured section. No featured section. Remember, it's coming up from every post that I've analyzed or every profile I've analyzed. No recommendations visible. Priority 1 experience description is generic. What she can do better. Again, 8 top points. And I think, let me just start another one. Also this. So while it does, what I realized was the data that it's pulling out and the recommendations it's pulling out is not based off what Claude thinks. In the back end, I analyzed the thinking page, and it is actually, if you check the logs, it is referring a lot of data points from LinkedIn, from social media marketing experts, from ad agencies of what has worked for them in the past. So it is not a generic execution of ideas or processes. It is based off what has worked. And the best part is, since LinkedIn's dynamics change every couple of months, it only fetches the most recent ones on its own. It is not going back to 2025 and pulling out some random stuff. So, Salina, so this is yours. What is working is the credentials, pronouns, California PA license, open to work. What's wrong is, again, the URL, the headline, the about section, virtually no posting activity, 300 connections, significant identity disconnect is buried in the following data. So it actually pulled out your job profile and your current profession, and it says, it figured out like you could do this better, all right? And then what she can do better. So it'll give you points. What I've seen is even if you just take this draft and get on your LinkedIn profiles, follow the recommended actions step by step. Of course, posting actual content will take longer, but other immediate actionables like changing your context or job profession, timelines, your URL, you instantly start seeing a lot of great results. And So this is again done. Many. Okay, so let's do one more. Also this, and then we'll do Manny's. So this is Anita. Again, I'm going to mail you everything directly, but this is such a good exercise to know where your brand actually, in the space your brand exists, rather than assuming what I'm doing wrong or what I'm doing right. And something I realized when it comes to purely marketing, and Leslie, he keeps telling me this every single time, that humans work off biases and not data. And that is true. No matter how many data points I will refer to, the top layer on decision making always comes down to some form of bias, knowing or unknowingly. And it is good to have a companion like Claude or any other AI agent that you like that can analyze data for you without that layer of bias. And sometimes it's enlightening, sometimes it's depressing to see what you were thinking was entirely wrong. And sometimes it's just beautiful. Like it's just a discovery of things you could have, should have done in the past. So, all right, Nita. So your headline is doing everything right. Good job. The featured section is exceptional and the numbers prove it. Her writing voice is genuinely distinctive. About section is comprehensive, structured. Dual narrative is genuinely compelling. Content variety across themes is strong. What is wrong is the URL has a generic number. This, I would say, definitely change when you get a time. Just have Anita or your name, whatever, but have like a few smaller words.
Sorry, what does that mean and how do I do that? I didn't even think I did that myself. I thought that's just how
it generates. Anita, your voice is really low, but I heard you what you're saying. So if you go into your profile settings and personal profile, and there's a link, there's an option to change your LinkedIn URL. So give it something meaningful. What I did for me was, I think I use I Build Brands or something, or someone told me use Addie GPT. Anything that resonates people, use that. It could be a skill, it could be your name. If you don't find your name available, use your skill. But anything that gets stuck in people's heads. So I don't need to look for your profile. I just know / this is Anita. But only 6 skills listed, 1,731 followers. All content is long form text. This is I'm starting to see in the last couple of weeks. No recommendations visible, no booking link. What she can do better. Again, I think it has about 9 recommendations. So I'll send it out to you. Let's do Manny's. All right. Okay, so let's wait for those results. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, keep throwing them in the chat, or just turn on your audio or camera and come online. Yeah, Anita, these are the things we're discovering. I didn't know it was a thing, the URL, but when I analyzed my profile, that's the first thing it brought up. So I said, okay, I'll change it. Also made a few other changes. The featured thing is, I think, iconic in how it engages people. Well, Manny, you're online. PharmD credential is good. UCLA, career trajectory. What's wrong? There's no about section. There are no posts. Should I go on? It just feels like my profile from days ago. Totally nothing in there. But the good part is we have a lot of fixes that we can do. Headline, that your headline is the auto-populated one, so we can change that. Only 6 skills. Organization memberships are frozen in time. Overlapping employment dates are confusing. And then again, we have about 7 recommendations. I'll mail this out to you, Manny. But use this tool, please. Go ahead and analyze all of your social media. All you got to do is to recap, have Claude Cowork and Chrome browser linked to your Cowork. That's it. Welcome, Manny. So that kind of brings us to what the demos I had for everyone today. There's a couple of things I'm building, which I would like to share in the next couple of weeks when we schedule our next meeting. But please feel free to write to me if you need any specific solution to any kind of problems you're facing. We will build it together. And please go ahead and spend some time with Claude Design. It is beautiful. One last note before we call it a day. What is coming with AI in the next 3 months is really something important that we should all know about. So for those people who are not aware, Claude released Mythos back in early April. And within a few minutes of its release, it took it back because there's a security stack that has been with us for 27 years. What do I mean by a security stack? So it is a piece of software, FreeBSD, which primarily runs most of the world's biggest computer servers. And there was a loophole inside that software stack which could be easily hacked, but not discovered by the world's top security researchers for 27 years. Claude discovered that loophole and hacked the system within 11 seconds. And everyone got scared. There was a government committee formed at the federal level, and the Claude Mythos was shared with the US and world's top, I think if I'm not wrong, 18 security researchers, and I think a few top brands like Apple, Google, Microsoft, and some other major brands, and of course the US military. They're now, as of today, preparing to counteract with such AIs coming in and finding loopholes into existing systems so that they can prepare for it. But the reality of the matter is, if not June, if not July, if August, Mythos or a similar AI is going to come into our lives. How is that going to change what we have even further? So right now, I talked to you about a lot of things that we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. What I haven't shown you, or not possible to show you in one meeting, is how to take it to the final level. We build a blog post. Now you need someone, or you need to learn that large execution gap where you make it final. Some things you can, something needs people. By that end of August, when Mythos comes in, everything you see, feel, touch, every single day is going to change forever, because entire executions can be automated. Entire thought process of what you have in mind to deploy, the time to deploy will just vanish. And I'm starting to see the results myself. As I said last time, I built a literally $500,000 software in 8 hours and replaced one of the biggest pieces of software at Excite Capital. Our timeline at Excite Capital was 2 years to freedom. What that means is that within 2 years, by end of 2027, we decided that we will not leverage any other third-party platform for security of our investors and for becoming independent from ever paying $20, $30, $100, $500 to anyone outside of Excite Capital. Just because of what I was able to build in the past 2 weeks, that timeline, I moved it myself to end of the year. And I can assure you, I'm not going to wait till the end of the year. It'll be probably a few months from now. Maybe mid-year, maybe towards October. But if I can move an entire timeline of
It's more like 2 weeks,
infrastructure
Addie.
that a company like Excite uses, which encompasses probably, I'm not wrong, about 15 major tools, and bring it under one umbrella without paying anyone outside, without spending a penny on development. And I'm a person who has never, ever, I promise you, never coded a single thing in my life. If you ask me, Addie, can you write even a basic ping pong game? I don't know. Because the day my brother and me got into computers, he went into coding, I went into hardware, networking, all the other stuff, marketing. If I can do that just by sheer imagination and what I want that software to look, feel, and work like, every one of us can. And that is what is coming. Right now, maybe I need a few technical skills, which not everyone has. When MyTOS or similar AIs come in towards, let's say, end of this year, that thing will also disappear. What that also means is most of the SaaS companies, which is software as a service, like Microsoft 365, Canva, Figma, they're dead. I hate to say this, but they're all dead. They're within 6 months to a year, they're all dead because they don't have a use anymore. You could pretty much go to Claude Design, and this is a test version of Claude Design. This is not even a production version. So I don't know what's coming. Again, I implore you all before you go to go in, spend every hour you can get or a weekend or end of the day of your weekday. When you feel refreshed, go in into Claude, experiment what you can do with it. My team has been able to do amazing things in just the past 3 days. Go and do that, and I can pretty much guarantee you your entire life and the way you work will change. All right, anything else?
Addie, Addie, can you hear me?
Wait, why is the voice so low? Go ahead, please.
Can you hear me, Addie?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Oh, have you for Claude Design? Have you tried? Because there's like an option to connect like your website or business using GitHub, so you have access to the code. Have you tried doing it? Because I feel like I did that, and I would just type in like create marketing documents, and it just created like this ridiculous marketing animations. But I don't know if it's getting that from the website or based because they have access to the code, but it like knows everything about the business.
Okay,
just from like a bare prompt, and I didn't tell it what to do. I just said create marketing videos. So I don't know if that's the GitHub or the website. I don't know if you've tried to play with that.
Okay, let me show you something. That's a really good point when it comes to brand designs and GitHub. So, can I ask you a question? When you were building this, when you were building that brand design, did you lock in your GitHub repo here?
So I did that right away.
And was the repo built through Claude, or was it a third-party repo?
It was a third-party repo, but I pushed it to GitHub, but it wasn't through Claude.
And was it made public?
It was private. I have access to it.
Okay, cool. So do me a favor, try creating a new brand design. Just add your repo. Do not give it any direction, and just announce your company name here. And when you start to build the brand, just watch out for the screen on the left. Because sometimes what is happening is, and that happened to one of Excite's brand, is that repo was locked and it couldn't see. But since Claude mission is to skip everything and give you a result, it skipped the brand and just built something really wild. I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Okay.
If you see an error like this repo is locked for access or I need more information, just press stop and give it that information, because it's directly reading from your HTML and brand files. It should not produce something janky.
Got it. Okay, I'll try that. Thanks.
All right, guys. Anything else before we go? It was amazing having you all here again. As I said, we're going to make this a regular thing. And please email, text, whatever you want to see this next. I have some great stuff coming when it comes to actually executing things. I think these 2 webinars were about knowing AI, building stuff, and taking it to 80%. I have some solutions coming up where I'll show you how to cover the last 20% of execution. But it was great. If we don't have any questions, definitely interested in the bi-monthly. Yes, Fedna, it's coming. I'm planning to deliver as much value in the 1 hour, 90 minutes we put into this. But thank you again, everyone, for joining. by end of tomorrow morning, I think I should be able to send you the recording and the blog post. If you've been to my website and saw the blog post and the recording and the analysis and my last newsletter, everything was built by Claude, except what was on my mind. So leverage the tools available to you, and we shall see you pretty much in the next couple weeks. Once I have everything planned, I will be reaching out, and watch out for the recording tomorrow. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend, an amazing Saturday, and catch you on the other side.